don't think most of us are lazy. I think that we are tired and overstimulated and constantly being told that if we are not optimizing every second of our lives that we're failing. We live in a world that automated attention, it flattened our curiosity, and then it blamed us for losing focus. So this channel is not going to be about becoming a millionaire by 25. It's not about looks maxing or grind culture or locking in. It's about something that hopefully to you will actually feel real, which is learning how to live our lives deliberately again. Hi, my name is Talia Stimats, and this channel is called Tali Loves Tala. Tala meaning languages in Dutch, but also standing in for learning broadly, which is like learning ideas and skills and systems of thought and different ways of seeing the world. This is going to be a long-form channel about rebuilding discipline without any self-hatred, cultivating curiosity in a world that's very stifled and short form, and learning how to take your time seriously again. And I'm not going to be doing so in a finance bro way or the wake up and grind all day way, but just in a grounded and sustainable and hopefully very human way. Now, if you're here because you feel like your attention span got wrecked post-pandemic, or you feel like you want to be disciplined but you don't know exactly how without burning out, then you're in the right spot. So let's be honest about the last few years, right? The pandemic did not only disrupt our routines, it fundamentally altered our own relationships with time. Our days have begun to blur together, and our structure as a world has just collapsed. And a lot of us replaced what it means to be human with this desire for dopamine because stimulation was easy and life wasn't. And now we kind of live in the aftermath of that, which is this constant short-form content, automated everything, AI finishing our sentences, and productivity advice stripped of context and ethics. And the dominant message seems to be either you are winning or you're wasting your life. Now I don't buy that. You know why? Because discipline is not about pushing yourself super hard, and it's not about conquering yourself. I think it's about aligning yourself with your goals and your needs. Discipline is what happens when your daily actions begin to reflect what you actually value. And most of us, I don't think we're ever taught how to do that, especially in a world which is actively designed to fracture our attention and monetize our interests and values. Now I want to be very clear about something up front. I am not presenting myself as a guru. I am not finished with this process, whatever that means, and I'm not selling you anything. There will be no course for you to buy, anything of that nature. I'm simply documenting a process, my own process in a way, and if you subscribe and follow along throughout the weeks and you try to implement some of this philosophy into your own life, I almost promise you that you will improve. Now, for some context about who I am, I'm someone who studies engineering and languages. I write fiction, I paint, I play piano, and I've spent a lot of time trying and failing to live more deliberately. I have burnt out, I've procrastinated for months, and I've probably lost years of my life to just distraction spirals that felt impossible to escape. But slowly and intentionally, I have started to rebuild something different. And now my routine is far from perfect, but I do have something that not a lot of people can lay claim to, and that is a learning-centered life, which I would define as one where progress is not like your social status, nor your wealth, nor your appearances, but something along the lines of like the pages I've read, or the concepts I've understood, and the hours practicing something difficult, moments of actual genuine focus, right? And when you achieve that genuine focus, I don't know how to fully explain it, but life just feels so much more real, and it makes me feel so much more human. Now, a word that will come up a lot on this channel is polymathy. Not entirely in like the Renaissance genius sense, but in the sense of refusing intellectual narrowing. A polymathic life is not about mastery in every single subject, right? In my view, it is about engagement with many things, because this world has so much to offer. And some examples from my own life would be like learning languages trains my patience, music trains my listening, mathematics trains my rigor, art trains my perception of the world, and writing kind of trains my comprehension of it. And each discipline kind of like works to strengthen the others. And in a world that really wants you to be like hyper specialized and hyper branded and hyper marketable. I believe that your own curiosity is a form of resistance, and choosing to learn for the sake of learning, be it slowly, imperfectly, is how you kind of get your agency back over your attention. And here's the core idea that this channel is built on, right? Discipline is not just pure willpower. It is structure plus meaning. And most people fail at discipline because they try to force themselves into systems that they do not believe in. They copy routines from people whose values they do not actually share. They chase outcomes that they do not actually want, and then they blame themselves when it doesn't work, and that is not fair to them at all. So on this channel, we will talk about designing days around energy and goals instead of aesthetics, tracking time without becoming just obsessive and frozen in place, learning many of life's concepts deeply, and building systems that actually serve you and not the algorithms that modern life is based upon. There will be no screaming motivation at you, nor any, this changed my life in 30 days, because that's all bullshit. It'll just be slow, cumulative progress, right? And now here's what you can expect from this channel, right? We will take deep dives into learning systems. For example, like just some little examples from my life, like learning languages, learning music, learning more technical subjects, reading strategies, a lot of more learning how to learn than specific things, and just kind of overall self-improvement. We'll have thoughtful discussions about discipline and burnout and attention. We'll have reflections on living intellectually, or trying to, in a post-pandemic world. And we will have honest progress updates from my end that will hopefully help you to reflect on your own progress. And we will have like occasional philosophy, psychology, literature without any academic gatekeeping. And so this is a channel mostly for people who want to think clearly and learn deeply and live intentionally without turning themselves into these productivity machines that we seem to really idolize nowadays. Now let me say this plainly. Again, I'm not here to sell you any fantasy version of yourself. You don't need to become someone else to become disciplined. I fully believe that. You do not need to hate yourself into productivity, and you definitely don't need to monetize every hobby in order to justify its existence. This channel is just really about becoming yourself again, stripped of any marketing tactics that have been bound to you, and we will do so through learning and structure and attention. And if that resonates with you at all, I implore you to subscribe and follow along. If you want quick hacks, shortcuts, or narratives about success, this probably will not be your thing, and that's okay. Now, if you are watching this and thinking, I don't want to waste my life, but I don't necessarily want to destroy it, trying to optimize it either, that tension is kind of what I decided to build this channel around. So subscribe if you want like more long-form thinking in a short-form world, and if you want to learn how to truly live as a human in this world. Welcome to Tali Los Tala, and I'm glad you're here.